Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, August 28th. Looking at the impact map, we have a mixture of dry and wet lightning, a large swath working its way up from south to north, affecting much of Nevada and southern Utah and the Arizona Strip today. That will shift north and eastwards tomorrow, covering much of Utah, Idaho, and western Wyoming. In some areas, we'll also have elevated winds where you see the areas in orange. So the combination of lightning and winds will be our main headline for the next 2 to 3 days. Not much going on the past 24 hours except a little bit of lightning rippling up the Sierra chain. We did have some lightning strikes on the outer periphery of our geographic area, 1 or 2 strikes here, higher terrain of southern Nevada, but this other lightning further south and these echoes of precipitation further south is what is moving in our direction. Initial attack fairly light, new fire starts in the red, existing recent fires in the yellow. And observe precipitation. Last 2 weeks we have been bone dry across the entire geographic area. You can see that on the right hand side, 0 to 5% of normal, and that is setting the stage for our drier fuels, our ERCs, many in the red and dark red. That's 80th to 90th and even 96th percentile, which is pushing records for this time of year in some of our southern areas, which have been consistently dry with our quote-unquote monsoon this summer season. 10-hour fuels for the lower elevation grasses and light brush, again critically dry in all areas in the light shade of red, 3 to 4%, 1 to 2% where you see the dark red. Live fuel moistures also, and these are about a week or so old, but have dropped down below 100, which correlates well with extreme fire behavior. So the sagebrush in the lower middle elevations now becoming a critical part of the fire environment as well. And that is setting the stage for this moisture, this deeper moisture, to start getting pulled up northwards today. Already some of it developing here convection-wise here in northwest Nevada, and this is where we expect to see thunderstorms blossom today, shift eastwards and northwards for tomorrow. And we'll be watching this deeper trough of low pressure, which could produce some winds later in the period. So for today, here's our high risk for a large portion of our southern and western areas, matching up well with northern California. And it looks a little innocuous, but this area in black here has just enough moisture for thunderstorms, not quite enough for wet thunderstorms, but they'll be more numerous where you see these blips of green here on the map coming up from the south and spreading through here. So anywhere between this green area here through this one here in this zone, isolated to locally scattered thunderstorms, more dry than wet at this point. Drier air is still being pushed in our northern areas. And here's a precipitation map here on the left indicating where those thunderstorms are expected today. And this is just precipitation reaching the ground, so there could be lightning strikes in some of these gap areas. Just because you're not seeing precipitation reach the ground doesn't mean it's not happening. Winds on the right-hand side coming out of the south and southwest at about 12 to 22 miles per hour. Some locally higher gusts where you see the orange, and especially here in the lee of the higher terrain of eastern Idaho and western Wyoming, they could see gusts approaching the upper 20s to near 30 miles per hour. This moisture shifts to the north and east, and by late afternoon it's kind of out of here, but in its wake during the overnight hours and the morning hours, it will lay down another swath of lightning where we have our high risk here in the red. This shows on the left-hand side where we expect that precipitation to occur, and the streaks in that precipitation signature is more of a dry lightning signature. There'll be some wetter stuff over the highest terrain of the Wasatch Uintas, but there'll be drier strikes mixed in, so initial attack definitely will be picking up. Winds here on the right-hand side, south to southwest, about, again, 12 to 22 miles per hour, but some gusts here close to 30 in the orange, and these are areas that would have had lightning, so to keep an eye on that. On Friday, the moisture moves out, drier air moves in where you see the orange through here. Our PSAs are quite dry. You can see the humidity in the single digits to mid-teens in southern areas, upper teens to low 20s, and breezes light in the south but could be locally gusty here in western Wyoming. 3-day precipitation totals are fairly light. Further down the road on Saturday, high pressure building in, dry conditions and hot. Similar story on Sunday. The Four Corners high starts getting going, starts pulling in some moisture. We'll have to watch the track of this low dropping down from the north. If this scenario happens, it could pull up more moisture and thunderstorms by early next week. This might be an overblown solution, but we'll continue to monitor this situation through here. If this happens, this probably would bring wetting rains to much of the region, but other models are indicating something different. 7-day precipitation totals not much different from the first 3. Deeper monsoonal moisture stays to the south. 8 to 14, the outlook precipitation looks to be near normal in our southern areas, a little above normal in the north, above normal temperatures most areas. This concludes our briefing. Have a great day.